Aloha and good morning. My name is Janessa Michelle Purcell, and I'm the president of Utah International Mountain Forum, a coalition of student clubs at Utah Valley University. Since 2011, we have been advocates for sustainable development for mountain communities in the state of Utah and globally. I have the wonderful privilege to moderate this panel titled The Kyrgyz Republic State of Utah Advocacy to Empower Mountain Women and Girls Through Ethically Good Student-Centric Education. I express gratitude to Ambassador Ida Kasmilia for allowing us to 1. Advocate for mountain women and girls to be the focus of this historic session and revising the implementation of the Beijing Declaration through student-engaged learning SEL model. 2. Making this event part of our class, the Globalization and Sustainable Development course. And 3. Agreeing to co-teach this class together with Dr. Batibek Abjasev based on the textbook Understanding Sustainable Development by John Blewett. This event will highlight UVU and Osh Technological University student-led initiatives to tackle mountain community and women issues under faculty guidance. I thank the speakers for presenting within their allocated limits, which will ensure we will pass this midterm exam for our course.
My name is Viro Bonyanta, and I'm the president of Utah Valley University. During this visit, I've been responsible for technical equipment and also for creating our event flyers. I will introduce our first speaker and the main host of this side event, the permanent representative of Kyrgyz Republic of the United Nations, Her Excellency Aida Kazimadieva. Ambassador Aida Kazimadieva presented our credential to UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on February 15, 2022. Mrs. Kazimadieva was Vice Speaker of the Parliament of the Kyrgyz Republic from 2018 to 2021 and acting speaker in 2021. She obtained a bachelor's degree in journalism from Bishkek Humanities University and a master's degree in international relations from the Diplomatic Academy of Kyrgyzstan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
State of Utah, calling us to advocate for the sustainable mountain development and gender equality through educational initiatives focusing on students. Kyrgyzstan, as a mountainous country, has been advocating for the needs and interests of mountain countries. Our country was among the main sponsors of the United Nations resolution in 1998 to observe 2002 as the International Years of Mountain. In 2002, Kyrgyzstan hosted the first global mountain summit that adopted an outcome document known as the Bishkek Mountain Platform. When I visited last year, or 2 years ago, the state of Utah in 2023, I felt at home seeing the magnificent mountains as part of the Osage Front. 45% of Utah is covered by mountain ranges, with a mean elevation of 6,100 feet. The third highest in the U.S. mountain ranges, dominated with 90% by native Kyrgyzstan, with almost 35% of its territory higher than 9,842 feet. Therefore, since 1999, both sides have built special ties with each other. Communities. As for the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, 915 million of 30% of the world population lives in the mountains, and 1/3 of which are food insecure. Mountains host 25% of the world's biodiversity on land and other water towers of the world. Today, climate change has placed mountain regions in a vulnerable position. Mountain glaciers are rapidly melting, water resources are decreasing. Kyrgyzstan keeps the interest of all mountain countries high on a global agenda. The declaration by the General Assembly 2023-2027 as a 5 years of action for the development of mountain regions to foster broader and inclusive international cooperation was initiated by the Kyrgyz Republic. It invites the international community to enhance the awareness of the problems faced by mountain countries and to give new impetus to international efforts to address these challenges. And we value the contribution of this endeavor of the UVU History and Political Science Department, the UVU College of Humanities and Social Sciences, the UVU Office for Global Engagement, in addition to the Utah Rotary District and the Orange Leader Rotary Club. UVU was the first academic institution in North America to join the United Nations Mountain Partnership in 2006. This happened because of the partnership established between the UVU and the International University of Kyrgyzstan to advocate jointly for sustainable mountain development, SMD. UVU jointly with International University of Kyrgyzstan and Osh Technological University hosted International Women of the Mountains Conference under the MP umbrella in 2007. It was highlighted by the United Nations Secretary General's report on SMD 2007 and 2009 for promoting gender agenda and building regional networks between Central Asia and Rocky Mountain states. Since 2011, students advocate for sustainable mountain development thanks to the inclusive student-engaged learning CEL model. CEL encourages both traditional and non-traditional students to jointly solve mountain communities problems with their teachers mentoring them. Non-traditional students are older than 25 years and balance education with family and job duties. They can contribute, lead and implement SMT activities because of their maturity and responsibility. Since 2011, the Utah International Mountain Forum, a coalition of student clubs at UVU, has been informed of the model. Since then, a joint team has observed annually the UN International Mountain Days on December 11 in the state of the Utah and Kyrgyzstan. The 2016 UNSG report on SMT praised the International Mountain Forum for hosting the fourth walk in Utah and adopting its final document. Two sides advocated for the adoption of 3 targets of the Open Working Group during 2013 and 15. President of the General Assembly, Ambassador Chava Koroshi, told me how he was pleased to work with UVU students at that time. And it was very nice trip of our ex-PGA, Chava Koroshi, to Utah University, and he was very impressed. It was very good to visit, and here some of you, maybe you remember, we had a very wonderful meeting with him. Our permanent mission contributed to the model by making side events during 67th and 68th and ongoing 69th session of the Sessions of the Commission on the Status of Women, CSW. As academic programs, we integrated service learning activities. Students through CEL acted as a junior diplomats and reported about their services to local communities. The CSW 67 event, composed of the 17 representatives, was moderated by Alicia Thompson, a non-traditional student, mountain woman, and a mother of 5 children. The CSW 68 event last year, composed of 16 presenters, was moderated by Dastan Amikov and Stefan Atkinson, non-traditional students from the Kyrgyz Republic and UVU. Who is also a non-traditional student. All of this presents evidence of the model students' centricity due to the use of student clubs and student-driven nature due to the leading role of non-traditional students, many of whom are representing mountain communities. This model fully implements the SDG 4, which aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. It makes students full-fledged contributors to the 5 years of action for the development of mountain regions, and this can be demonstrated also by students jointly hosting activities during the second Global Mountain Summit in 2027. And we are looking forward that you can visit Kyrgyzstan during this second Global Mountain Summit in 2027. While it will be beneficial to create more educational opportunities for non-traditional students to be involved with the SMT implementation, one of the steps in this direction could be recommend for the United Nations to remove the age limit for internships in the UN. Thank you for your attention and good luck.
I will introduce our next speaker, Dr. Almas Atabekon.
Dear colleagues, it is my pleasure to speak today during this side event organized by the Permanent Mission of the Kyrgyz Republic to the United Nations and advocating for mountain women and girls to be included in the final document of the 69th session of the Commission on the Status of Women. I would like to thank Ambassador Aida Kasımalieva for including us, faculty and students from Osh Technological University, to this panel to tell how it could be done through education. And I have to thank her also for giving this podium every year since 2023, together with our colleagues from Utah Valley University. Kyrgyzstan is one of the most vulnerable countries in Central Asia to climate change impacts, in particular women and households led by women. More than 20 types of environment and climate-related hazards and processes can be observed in the Kyrgyz Republic. The Republic ratified the Paris Agreement in 2019. In April 2020, Kyrgyzstan launched the National Climate Change Learning Strategy with the United Nations Institute for Training and Research. With the Regional Environment Center for Central Asia, they implemented policies including the energy efficiency in buildings project. Permanent representative of the Kyrgyz Republic to the United Nations, Aida Kasımalieva, together with the group of friends of mountainous countries at the United Nations, are strong advocates for active involvement of rural and mountain women, including in Kyrgyzstan, in mitigating the impact of climate change on communities and their livelihoods. Since 2007, faculty and students at Osh Technological University, with other colleagues at Utah Valley University and the International University of Kyrgyzstan, have been jointly advocating for the sustainable development of mountain communities around the world. Our main focus was the continues to be promoting educational initiatives to combat climate change and empower women as part of joint efforts to promote the sustainable development of mountain communities. We are glad to use a student-engaged learning cell model which encourages students to contribute their experience, knowledge and financial resources to jointly solve issues important for their local communities, with the teachers mentoring them. The cell model was developed by our partners from Utah Valley University with the Utah International Mountain Forum as a coalition of student club, making the advocacy of the mountain communities and women and the improvement of their livelihoods a student-led and the student-driven educational initiative. We were happy to contribute to this model in December 2012 when faculty and students of Osh Technological University hosted a delegation from Utah Valley University in Osh and jointly organized an international conference on climate change and mountains. The conference representatives adopted a joint resolution highlighting the problems that worsen and the situation of women in mountainous areas, such as traditional perceptions of their low status in communities, weak infrastructure with deterioration conditions for economic development, low level and the quality of education as one of the main challenges for the active participation of women and the goals in addressing issues related to the conservation of the mountain ecosystems in which they live. During the conference, we also celebrated the 10th anniversary of the United Nations proclamation of December 11 as International Mountain Day. As a result, UVU and OSH2 have created several new initiatives and projects in the field of educational exchange and scientific research aimed at jointly promoting sustainable mountain development. As another example of the cell in action, in December 2015, students from Utah Valley University, Osh Technological University, and two other universities in Kyrgyzstan collected more than 1,600 signatures from the required 5,000 for the petition of the United Nations Mountain Partnership requesting the issues of the impact of climate change on mountain communities to be included in the agenda of the 2015 United Nations Climate Change Conference. In June 2019, I greeted the UVU delegation in Bishkek when Dr. Baktibek Abdersaev and Dr. Lynn England with 6 students from Utah visited the Kyrgyz Republic as a study abroad program. This was a new opportunity for both sides to discuss the joint initiatives with focus on sustainable mountain development. From September to December 2021, a group of OSH2 faculty and students holds weekly online meetings to master this type of group activity under the guidance of leaders of the Utah International Mountain Forum. Using this technology, our student Abibulay Bayel prepared a report to the state of tourism in Kyrgyzstan, which he delivered on December 2 at an event dedicated to the International Mountain Day. Tatiana Panfilenko helped these students as a mentor when they needed her advice. As a result, our team was also able to speak at the 66th session of the Commission on the Status of Women in online format. As a result, a delegation of students from Utah Valley University and the Osh Technological University participated from the 66th to the 68th session of the Commission on the Status of Women. Under the umbrella of the Utah International Mountain Forum, they jointly advocated through CEL for mountain women. They demonstrated their skills in protocol, logistics, and presented the case of the current situation and the challenges affecting communities in both Utah and Kyrgyzstan by working as a group with university faculty serving as advisory mentors. The model implements Sustainable Development Goal 5 on gender equality and in interaction with Target 4.7, ensuring that all learners acquire knowledge and skills required to promote sustainable development, including, among others, through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace and non-violence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity and of culture's contribution to sustainable development. Today we have one more opportunity to raise our voices in support of the mountain women to be included in the final document of this session. This will also be an opportunity to strengthen the partnership between Kyrgyz Republic and the state of Utah with focus on educational programs. Thank you very much.
My name is Nikkei Jones. I am the Vice President of the Utah International International Mountain Forum. During this visit, I've been handling our agenda logistics and protocol. I'm introducing our next speaker, Tatiana Panpolenko. Tatiana Panpolenko is a lecturer in the Department of Geology of Natural Resources at Osh Technological University. She has been teaching geology at the university since 2019. Since 2021, she has participated in the joint project between the Osh Technological University and Utah Valley University.
I thank you, the permanent representative of the Kyrgyz Republic to the United Nations, Ambassador Aida Kasimalieva, for gathering this important side event advocating for mountain women and girls through education. We appreciate this for the third time. You invite us to speak about our joint actions with our colleges from the state of Utah. As representative of Osh Technological University, located in the city of Osh, the Kyrgyz Republic, I would like to add my voice in support of mountain women to be included in the resolution of this session, which reverses famous Beijing Declaration. As my colleague, Dr. Almaz Atabekov, said, since 2011, Osh Technological University jointly advocated for the sustainable development of mountain communities with Utah Valley University. He laid a solid foundation for my involvement with my students from geology department in this fruitful partnership. Since the fall of 2021, our faculty and students jointly with UVU advocated for mountain families, women and girls through the Student Engaged Learning Education Initiative. This model encourages students to work together as one team to resolve a certain practical issue, and the faculty assists them through mentorship. In our case, we focus our students' efforts on the promotion of sustainability for our local mountain communities. Due to this, such a student-centric approach makes them directly involved with the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development. UVU has used the CEL model since 2011, and now we are using it at our own Osh Technological University. We implement the CEL model together with the Utah International Mountain Forum, a coalition of students clubs at UVU led by Janessa Parcels and its mentor, Dr. Baktibek Abdursaev. Together, we will be able to highlight the complex problems facing mountain communities. This has been a great program where the interaction of our two cultures allows students and faculty to see a different perspective on the challenges in the lives of the mountain women. With new knowledge and skills gained through these joint efforts, we can improve first ourselves and then our local communities. This will be our contribution to the five-year action for sustainable development of mountain regions and implementations of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Thank you.
My name is Keith Bloomer, and I'm a political science student at Utah Valley University. During this visit, I have been responsible for logistics and support. I will now introduce Dr. Jay Desart, Chair of the Department of History and Political Science at Utah Valley University. He has been a driving force behind student-engaged learning since joining the institution in 2004 to establish the political science program. With a PhD in political science from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Dr. Desart brings decades of experience to his leadership and continues to support student opportunities for real-world experiences, such as participating in global forums like United Nations.
It is my pleasure to speak during this side event. I thank the permanent representative of the Kyrgyz Republic, Ambassador Aida Kazimileva, for providing for the third time an opportunity for our students from Utah Valley University and Osh Technological University to implement an inclusive co-curricular student-engaged learning, or SEL, model in action here at the United Nations. Moreover, this is implemented as part of the class on globalization and sustainable development, which Ambassador Kazimileva agreed to co-teach with Dr. Baktibek Abdursayev, who is another speaker. I am glad to also greet Dr. Almaz Adabekov and Tatiana Penfilenko from Osh Technological University. Dr. Rusty Butler and Dr. Alexander Stecker, with whom our department jointly collaborates on this educational initiative since it began. My warm greetings to Mr. Michael Rich, who both heads the Orem Linden Rotary Club and helps implement the SEL model in action by our students. SEL, also known as problem-based learning, encourages students to resolve certain practical issues as a team during or outside class while the teacher mentors them. In today's environment, when institutions of higher education are facing challenges of budget cuts and people questioning the value of higher education, faculty are facing pressure to enhance the learning experiences of our students amid more and more limited resources. It is becoming imperative to use high-impact teaching practices in education with less resources. So that's where our SEL model comes into the picture by allowing us to leverage the overlap in the goals of faculty, student clubs, non-governmental organizations, governments, and intergovernmental organizations to provide an enriching experience for our students. Our team is led by the Utah International Mountain Forum, UIMF, a coalition of student clubs at UVU and UVU Rotaract, which is under the umbrella of the UIMF as a student club of Rotary International, an NGO accredited under the UN. Since 2011, UIMF has been the extracurricular core of the model because of the challenges in planning these UN activities, which could last longer than a regular semester. It works closely with peers from Osh Technological University in implementing initiatives benefiting mountain communities. A distinct feature of our model is that it encourages both traditional and non-traditional students to work together. Non-traditional students are older than 25 and balance their education and family with job responsibilities. The UVU and OSH-TU students jointly handled everything for this visit, starting from raising funds to logistics to protocol to developing an agenda and learning how to engage the permanent missions of states accredited to the UN, like our host from the Kyrgyz Republic. Students also have invited us to contribute to their presentations and activities. During the fall semester every year since 2010, UIMF members, together with students from the Kyrgyz Republic, rehearse their UN activities by observing in International Mountain Day. This is the 8th session of the commission in which the UVU and OSH-TU student delegates host either a side or parallel event and are highlighted in written statements by the NGOs accredited under the UN. UVU's political science program leverages the overlap and the goals of our various partners by working in cooperation with Utah International Mountain Forum, UVU Rotaract, Rotary International, and the diplomatic mission to the UN from the Kyrgyz Republic and other mountainous countries, and the UN to promote our common goal of sustainable mountain development. We propose for future our joint events at the UN to gain a similar backing to the model from the Rotary International and involvement of Rotaractors from the group of friends of mountainous countries. As a result, we could jointly make education a central part of the 2023 to 2027 5 years of action for the development of mountain regions approved by the UNGA in the Resolution A-Res 77-172 at the initiative of the Kyrgyz Republic. Thank you very much.
My name is Priyanka Prem Kumar. I am a member of the Utah International Mountain Forum. During this visit, I have been offering support to McKay with the agenda and protocol aspect. I will introduce our next speaker, Dr. Back-to-Back Abrasive. Dr. Back-to-Back Abrasive has been working as a lecturer in the Department of History and Political Science at Utah Valley University, USA, since 2005. During 1997 to 2005, he served as an ambassador of the Kyrgyz Republic to the United States and Canada. He teaches courses on international relations, world diplomacy, post-Soviet politics, comparative politics of Central Asia, sustainable development goals, and sustainable modern development, a few to mention.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I thank the Honorable Aida Kasamaleva for hosting today's side event about the partnership between the Kyrgyz Republic and the state of Utah to empower mountain women through education. It is also my special pleasure and honor to speak along with other distinguished panelists, my colleagues, who have made their own invaluable contributions on this important issue. In 1999, when I visited the state of Utah for the first time as the top envoy of the Kyrgyz Republic of the United States, this was a special honor for me. And since then, our team has strived to build relationships with the state of Utah, which shares similarities with the Kyrgyz Republic, such as being a landlocked mountain state with almost the same size of population and territory. It also became an opportunity for us to pursue a policy of so-called para-diplomacy, or the involvement of the non-central governments in international relations. And partnership with the state of Utah combined quite in a unique way bilateral activities with sustainable mountain development SMD initiatives, which are related to multilateral diplomacy. So official exchanges included visits by Askar Aytmatov, at that time Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kyrgyz Republic, to the state of Utah, and the appointment of Daniil Butler as the honorary consul of the Kyrgyz Republic to the state of Utah in 2003. The visit of the governor of the state of Utah, Alin Volker, to the Kyrgyz Republic took place in June 2003. And the visit of Askar Akayev, president of the Kyrgyz Republic, to Utah in September 2004 was focused entirely on building bilateral ties with a focus on SMD and as a follow-up to the observations of the International Day of the Mountains in 2002. And the Kyrgyz Republic was one of the co-sponsors of the United Nations resolution on this matter, and in a similar way, President Askar Akayev made the same such a visit to the state of Montana in December 2003. The change of regime in 2005 in the Kyrgyz Republic transformed relations between the two sides from official exchanges to a partnership spearheaded by the Utah Valley University, UVU, and the International University of Kyrgyzstan. One of the factors in this development was an invitation for me to teach at the UVU after the end of my diplomatic career. And this allowed for UVU faculty and students to gain skills through the involvement in para-diplomacy. UVU hosted ambassadors of the Kyrgyz Republic to the United States and to the United Nations, facilitated exchanges between the Utah State Legislature and the Jogor Kengesh of Parliament of the Kyrgyz Republic. The Open World Program of the United States Library of Congress brought delegations from the Kyrgyz Republic to Utah to learn its SMD experiences. In 2006, Utah Valley University became the first North American university to join the United Nations Mountain Partnership, which coordinates the SMD implementation globally. And as its main contribution to the Mountain Partnership activities, UVU decided to host jointly with the International University of Kyrgyzstan the Women of the Mountains conferences. So the first Women of the Mountains conference was hosted in March 2007 at UU campus. It was featured in the United Nations Secretary General's report on SMD in 2007 and 2009 as a regional gender-focused academic forum, creating a network between the Central Asia and the Rocky Mountain states. The second Women of Mountains conference was hosted by UU in the UK in Utah in 2011, with more than 70 students from UU involvement. Many of them were non-traditional students. It was quite a great discovery for us. Yeah? And usually non-traditional students are older than 25 years, and they are balancing their education with their work and family issues. So as a result of that successful hosting of the conference, students were so encouraged that they proposed to me and our faculty to create the Utah International Mountain Forum, and through which a coalition of student clubs to pursue SMD implementation as a student-centric approach. So the third Women of the Mountains conference was hosted by the joint Kyrgyz Utah team in Puno, Peru in 2012. And it was featured in the 2013 United Nations Secretary General report on SMD. It also became a contribution from the UU to the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development Rio +20. The 2015 Women of Mountains Conference was hosted by IMF members through the Student Engaged Journey model completely. During the fall semester, students were working really hard on it. So SEL, as I said also by my colleagues as well, encourage students to work as jointly as a group on resolving certain problems faced by the mountain communities with their teacher mentoring them. And for the first time ever, the 2016 United Nations Secretary General's report on SMD highlighted the Utah International Mountain Forum instead of Utah University for hosting the conference and adopting its final document. Since 2017, the IMF has advocated for mountain women at the sessions of the Commission on the Status of Women, and the 2019 United Nations Secretary General report on SMD featured the IMF advocacy for mountain women at the 2018 session of the CSW. Was one more biggest achievement as well. And the 2022 United Nations Secretary General report on SMD featured now SEL specifically as an academic achievement, and the role which non-traditional students played in it. So during the CSW 67, 68, and 69, the IMF members, alongside the students from Osh Technological University, have contributed their efforts to advocate for mountain women and ensure that appropriate language is included in the final document of any of those sessions. So on October 24th, 2024, the IMF members hosted Ambassador Michel Sisson, Assistant Secretary of State for International Organizations at UU. It means the highest State Department official who is dealing with the United Nations. So the VIP guest praised students from the advocacy campaign at CSW 67, recognizing the professionalism of the UU students and effectiveness of the developed SEL model. So our most recent academic paper has proven that the developed inclusive SEL model provides students necessary skills to be prepared for the fourth industrial revolution, which is defined again, featured by the World Economic Forum in Davos. So the partnership between the IMF and OSHTU served as a case study for this. And one of the important conclusions of our study is the need to maintain an inclusivity in the education programs to ensure the involvement of non-traditional students. Many learners in this category are educationally and financially disadvantaged, and such an attitude will create an ethically and socially good environment for all learners in line with the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goal number 4. Thank you very much.
Dr. Rusty Patlow was the UN ECOSOC representative for NGO in General Consultative Statute. He served as the Honorary Consul General of Russia Federation in Utah from 2000 to 2016. and Associate Vice President of International Affairs and Diplomacy at Utah Valley University until retiring in 2016.
I'm honored to participate in this side event with the Honorable Aida Kasumalyeva and other distinguished colleagues who promote goodwill between Utah and the Kyrgyz Republic. Our relationship with this great nation and its people began 26 years ago. In 1999, when we met Ambassador Abdisayev and his wife Cholpon in Washington, D.C. They accepted our invitation to visit Utah, where they met many people who would become friends, confidants, and students of our mutual cultures and heritages. Utah Valley University built ties with the International University of Kyrgyzstan and Osh Technological University and pursued educational exchanges. The students from both sides jointly advocated for mountain communities through student-engaged learning. This model encourages students to jointly resolve practical issues important for local communities with their teachers as mentors. This led to other reciprocal visits of Kyrgyz dignitaries to Utah and vice versa. Among those from Utah that went to Bishkek was the former Utah State President, John Valentine, and his wife, Karen, where he worked with leaders of the parliament. This began several exchanges and educational sharing between our respective legislative bodies. The exchanges reached a zenith in 2003 when Utah Governor Olene Walker and her husband Myron led a delegation of dignitaries to Kyrgyzstan to celebrate the 200th anniversary of its statehood. We were honored to meet the then president of the nation, Askar Akayev, and his wife Miriam, as well as the prime minister and other government ministers and senior legislators. That delegation also included Elder Russell M. Nelson, who is now the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This organization subsequently donated $5 million to support No Time to Waste, UNICEF's global initiative to address childhood malnutrition in Kyrgyzstan and other nations. It also partnered with UNICEF in Kyrgyzstan through the Maternal and Neonatal Tetanus Elimination Initiative to provide immunization services and to prevent childhood disease outbreaks, and work with the Mercy Corps to plant orchards in Kyrgyzstan to benefit schools. In 2004, my late wife Danielle and I joined with Governor Walker to host President Akayev and his wife in Utah, where they met with corporate, religious, educational, and government officials. Utah Valley University conferred an honorary doctorate degree on First Lady Miriam Akayeva for her work with children and women. Throughout the years, exchanges continued between Utah and Kyrgyzstan, which included cultural exchanges. For example, in 2023, His Excellency Baktibek Amanbayev, the Kyrgyz ambassador in Washington, D.C., and his wife were hosted in the home of the musically talented Utah Keller family to meet community leaders and to hear typical American blues music. Her Excellency Aida Kasumalyeva and her husband visited Utah several times, where she lectured to university students and met with many key individuals to further Utah-Kyrgyz relations. During 2009, we held conferences in Utah, Washington, D.C., and Bishkek entitled Traditions of Rule of Law, Good Governance, and Consultative Government in the Turkic World. This allowed our students to explore governance traditions in Turkic-speaking nations, including Kyrgyzstan, as laid out in a famous 11th century manuscript entitled Wisdom of the Royal Glory, Kutalu Bilig. As part of the conference activities, UVU reprinted its English translation, originally published by the University of Chicago in 1983. There were many more exchanges, conferences, working meetings, and visits between Utah citizens and their counterparts in Kyrgyzstan. We grew to love the wonderful people, the beautiful land, and the unique culture of this amazing country. We sense that indeed the people of Kyrgyzstan have a noble heritage inherited from Manas and earlier great men and women. My late wife, Dr. Danielle Butler, who served as the Honorary Consul General of the Kyrgyz Republic, and I visited Utah from 2003 to 2000 to the current date, and I developed a deep love for this magnificent country, its people, and the beauty of its culture. We share the sentiments of Presiding Bishop Gerald Kauzé, who said of the partnership with UNICEF's humanitarian work in Kyrgyzstan and elsewhere, we strive to create a world where every woman and child is cherished, protected, and empowered. Thank you for your hospitality.
Dr. Alexander Stecker was Senior Lecturer in the Department of History and Political Science and the Political Science Coordinator.
It is my extreme pleasure and privilege to speak at this side event dedicated to the partnership between the Kyrgyz Republic, the state of Utah in education. I thank the Honorable Adia Kazmaev for hosting this event and inviting us to contribute to it. For me, as the political science coordinator at Utah Valley University in 2005, it was an opportunity to engage our faculty and students in emerging partnership between Utah Valley University and the International University of Kyrgyzstan, with focus on mountain development. It has happened because of the appearance in our department as a faculty member, Dr. Bayachek Azbanayev, at the end of his tenure as the ambassador of the Kyrgyz Republic to the United States and Canada. He was invited to teach at Utah Valley University by Dr. Rusty Butler, the Associated Vice President for International Affairs and Diplomacy at Utah Valley University. It was my responsibility to find a position for him in our department. This was a time of close partnership with the International University of Kyrgyzstan, led by Dr. Abanayev. Similarly, our department worked closely with the Department of International Affairs and Diplomacy, led by Rusty Butler. All of us were very eager to engage each other in our experiences and practices of assisting local mountain communities improve their livelihoods. We proudly hosted international conferences and different aspects of the lives of women and families in the state of Utah and globally, including the Kyrgyz Republic. We hosted 3 such conferences under the umbrella of the United Nations Mountains Partnership. The first was hosted in 2007 at our campus in Orem. I remember its success in bringing to Utah experts and officials from more than 20 mountain states and almost all the Rocky Mountain states as well. We were proud to have a Kyrgyz dwelling yurt to be assembled in the middle of our campus. One of the Women of the Mountains conferences our faculty and students hosted in Puno, Peru in 2012. It was done jointly with our colleagues from the International University of Kyrgyzstan. The 2015 Conference of Women of the Mountain was hosted at Utah Valley University. Students through a student-engaged learning model. This was Utah Valley's signature model, engaging students in group efforts to serve certain practical problems for local communities with their teacher mentors mentoring them. More than 70 students, and the majority of them from our department, contributed to this initiative by working on its logistics agenda and protocol during 4 semesters. Dr. Rusty Butler said already about the visiting exchanges high level. I have said that our main beneficiaries from such exchanges were our students, who hosted through student-engaged learning ambassadors, members of the Kyrgyz Parliament, scholars, and many others. Our department contributed its own part in its effort. The important part of our partnership was the involvement of local communities in our joint projects. Orem Public Library became the headquarters for them. We jointly celebrated International Mountain Days with inviting members of the Orem City and its elected officials. The library also successfully hosted the Kyrgyz folk group Kut in 2009 during their tour of several states in the Rocky Mountains. I was glad to meet Ambassador Bayapek Amanayev during his visit to Utah Valley University in February 2023, and Ambassador Kazmalayev in December 2023. I am so glad to be with you today that we are jointly celebrating our 20th anniversary of this partnership. Thank you so very much.
Mike Rich is a visionary entrepreneur, dedicated community leader with a passion for service and innovation. Whether leading community projects as the 2024-2025 president of the Rotary Club of Orem-Linden, or revolutionizing inventory systems for businesses worldwide, he is committed to making a lasting impact. Mike has spent over 40 years pioneering technology solutions that transform inventory management.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Rich, and I'm the president of the Orem-Linden Rotary Club. I would like to express my appreciation to Ambassador Ada Kazmalieva for inviting me to this important event during the 69th session of the Commission on the Status of Women. Members of the Orem-Linden Rotary Club are proud to contribute to the educational partnership between the Kyrgyz Republic and the state of Utah, and in particular through the Utah Valley University. One of the reasons is that among our members we have Dr. Baktibek Abdrisev and Dr. Cholpan Akhmatalieva, who are former diplomats originally from the Kyrgyz Republic, and they are currently teaching at the Utah Valley University. In 2023, twice we hosted Ambassador Baktibek Amdabev of the Kyrgyz Republic to the United States and Canada. We also were honored to greet and interact with Ambassador Ada Kazmalieva at the UVU campus in December 2023 during the observation of the United Nations International Mountain Day. Our club and the Utah District Rotarians, in alignment with our traditional 7 goals of Rotary International, are involved in activities which focus on sustainable mountain development, and I know that this specific agenda at the United Nations is pursued by the Kyrgyz Republic. The mountainous state of Utah has many similarities to the Kyrgyz Republic, allowing us to share similar experiences with our friends from the Kyrgyz Republic. We are glad that UVU provides a solid foundation for educational partnership with the Kyrgyz Republic. Its focus on students' involvement in this partnership through hands-on activities, which is similar to a service learning model, make a big difference for student career advancement. Development at UVU, the student-engaged learning model relies on a coalition of student clubs named the Utah International Mountain Forum. It also includes a UV Rotaract Club, which is a student club for Rotary International. We now have a tradition for our Rotarians to involve UV Rotaractors in various service projects for local mountain communities in Utah County. They contribute to the beautification of local parks and cities, raising funds to purchase coats for children in local elementary schools, and being part of the traditional Orem pancake breakfast to feed local community members every June. We Rotarians are now closely involved with the UVU Rotaractors joint initiatives, along with their peers from the Kyrgyz Republic. Initiatives like World Polio Day in October or International Mountain Day observations in December are hosted by UVU Rotaractors together with their peers from the Kyrgyz Republic. We're also happy to support UVU Rotaractors' annual visits to the United Nations to speak in support of the mountain communities in both the state of Utah and the Kyrgyz Republic. They always do this together with their peers from the Kyrgyz Republic. Today's event follows the same path of celebrating together our mountain family's role in empowerment of women, and jointly discussing how to deal with some of the same challenges for them, such as from emerging threats like climate change and our out-migration, among others. UVU Rotaract was recognized as the best club by the Utah Rotary District in 2022 and 2023. This was a result of the successful joint advocacy campaign for mountain women of UVU Rotaractors, along with their peers from Osh Technological University, during the 65th and 67th session of the Commission on the Status of Women. Our club was very proud of our colleagues and partners from Rotaract clubs. We're excited to continue working together to further build ties with Rotarians from the Kyrgyz Republic, with UVU Rotaractors leading us in this endeavor. I'm glad to be with you all today as we jointly celebrate the 20th anniversary of our partnership. Thank you very much.
Since January, Nazi Nolga Tashiba has worked as the second secretary of the permanent mission of the Kyrgyz Republic to the United Nations, New York. She is responsible for issues under the Second Committee of the United Nations, including the promotion of the Mountain Agenda and Kyrgyzstan's initiatives on this topic within the UN framework.
Partnership between the Kyrgyz Republic and the state of Utah. With focus on the empowering of mountain women and implementation of sustainable mountain development. Our students, under the lead of Janessa, deserve a special recognition for supervised hosting and moderating not only this but also side events during 2023 and 2024. As Ambassador Aida Kasimalieva mentioned in her presentation, this approach to host events as service learning activities within the academic curriculum provides its relevance and a good example of the practical implementation of the Sustainable Mountain Goal 4. Dr. Almaza Pateka from Osh Technological University scrupulously highlighted main stages, contributions and benefits for students and faculty at the institution from the partnership with Utah University. Started in 2012, this was a remarkable beginning when the UVU delegation came to Osh to support local hosts' efforts to gather the International Conference Mountain and Climate. Students have played a leading role since that time in joint Sustainable Mountain Development implementation. Tatiana Pamfilenko, her colleague from OSH2, has revealed successes of student-engaged learning where students from Kyrgyzstan and Utah are working jointly as a group to resolve practical problems facing their communities under teachers' mentorship. As a culmination, students are able to jointly demonstrate their skills and knowledges during the session of the Commission on the Status of Women. Dr. Jay Desart, as the head of the UVU History and Political Science, has highlighted a strong support from his colleagues and students to the established partnership and contribution to the Sustainable Mountain Development Focus project and initiatives. The department's role was and continues to be crucial in further deepening academic contributions to the SMT advocacy. Further expansion of programs under the umbrella of global politics emphasis will definitely raise the level of interest and involvement of UVU students in SMT advocacy. Dr. Vakhtibeka Drsayev presents at UVU has provided an opportunity to transform a bilateral agenda facilitate previously on the official level to multilateral cooperation with SMT initiatives pursued from both sides, in particular by faculty and students. This process also demonstrated the potential for the student-centric and student-driven educational initiatives to empower. Dr. Rusley Butler, as a former Vice President for International Affairs and Diplomacy at UVU, demonstrated an impressive record of the main steps and initiatives in establishing the joint partnership between the Kyrgyz Republic and the state of Utah, with UVU's leading role. Focus on facilitating exchanges between officials and members of the legislative branches of power was adjusted lately, when students have acquired a leading role in facilitating these actions through the student engaged learning model. Dr. Alexander Stecker, in his capacity as UVU Political Science Coordinator, has provided important support from faculty and students in implementation of SMK initiatives. Dr. Stecker played a key role also in keeping Dr. Baktibek Abrisayevman, the faculty at the department in 2005 when he was invited to teach at UVU after finishing his diplomatic career. This decision strengthened UVU's role in facilitating the partnership between the two sides. Mr. Rich, president of the Orem Linden Rotary Club, shared experience of the Utah-based branch of the prominent non-governmental organizations such as Rotary International in contributing to the joint partnership. They made SMT as an additional priority to the existing RI's 7 goals, and students lead those initiatives by serving local communities. As this session is still ongoing, we will continue to work on adoption of its final document. We know about your passion and dedication to the adoption of the language about mountain women and system want to develop in its final document. This will be a fascinating time for us all to witness the process of its adoption and how the group of lots of mountainous countries will make an effort to advance this goal. And this will be a great learning time for our students, in particular, how diplomacy on the multilateral level works. Summarizing the side event results, I can tell you that we will work forward to our cooperation for the preparation for the second global can you hear me? A global mountain summit in 2027. We will appreciate if there will be the participation and contribution from the state of Utah and UVU in this hosting. We definitely can have a special student panel in it demonstrating the developed cell model. We will work also on our proposal related to the changes of age limits rules for UN internship. Thank you again for your all great contributions.
We will now proceed with a short Q&A session. If you would like to ask a question, please post it in the chat for us and we will get to you. We will go ahead and start. Kate Bloomer has a question for Professor Baktibek Abrisayevman. How has SVL changed your teaching style in the classroom?
Thank you, Mikhail, for this question. And I would like to tell that this was a great experience for me from being diplomat at the beginning, and focusing at the beginning on teaching the diplomacy, international relations. But now when I found out that there are so many students here, great students in particular, also not only traditional but also non-traditional, it gave me the chance to start to work on this education initiatives. And now I'm focusing more and more only on this wonderful, again, method. And I appreciate all of the members, political science department, and particular chair, now culture, because they provided for me freedom to do that here with this model so many ways, and this is again the result of it. We could see how our students are really wonderful. I mean, with your experiences, with your knowledge, with your maturity, and when you're working together, you're making a big difference in your own lives and also local communities. And you are changing also our attitudes as teachers. We now need to serve you. And you also need to look at us as a non-traditional students who are working with you together. This is something absolutely new paradigm. Thank you.
I had a question for Dr. J to start. How does the student-engaged learning model prove most effective during these higher education budget cuts?
It's a very good question. The real issue is we are being asked to do more with less in these days. With budget cuts to higher education, with people questioning whether or not there is even any value in a higher education degree, we've had to come up with innovative ways to provide engaging opportunities for our students. The American Association of Colleges and Universities has a list of what they call high-impact teaching practices. And these are more effective ways at engaging students and getting them to learn the material and the skills that they need in order to go and live the careers that they are getting the training for. One of the keys to the SEL model is that we put the students to work not just in trying to digest material, but also engaging with it and having them use skills that go beyond learning in textbooks. Our students are getting basically the skills of entry-level diplomats. And one of the keys to the operation of the model is getting other organizations that share goals with our students to help provide the resources enabling them to do so. Like Rotary International, we would not be able to do this without the assistance of Rotary International, and we have this mutual relationship where they provide us the support and assistance in giving these opportunities to our students. Meanwhile, they're getting from our students the opportunity to engage in the service learning, the service opportunities that they find important to their own mission. So it's really about finding the synergy with these other organizations and the sharing of resources that enables us to do more with less.
Thank you so much for your answer. We have another question in the chat, and Loyoka will help us with this.
Alors, je suis Lyoko Nyanza. Je vois qu'il y a Maman Bilinga, ministre en Guinée, et d'autres mamans qui sont là, qui nous accompagnent. Donc, si vous avez des questions, je pense que le chat il est ouvert. Vous pouvez soit les poser actuellement ou écrire sur le chat. Est-ce que Maman Bilinga, vous avez une question ou encore d'autres mamans parce que je ne peux pas. Ok, je vois que they are just saying congratulations. Ok, merci beaucoup. Donc, si vous avez des questions, vous pouvez activer votre micro et après on va vous aider avec ces questions. Merci.
Thank you so much. Our last question I have for Nazik. Nazik, could you tell us about your experience for the last 3 years in working with the students from Osh and Kyrgyzstan?
also our students from Ocean University also participated in this side events. And 2022 or 2023, we also visited Utah State and particularly Utah Valley University and my ambassador in the customer presented a lecture about the sustainable mountain development, and we had the opportunity to talk with students how we view and change our experiences. And thank you so much for this opportunity to take part and to host this side event during CSW sessions.
Thank you.
I would like to use this opportunity also to ask a question from Janessa. What she was able to gain during the 2 years of the experiences of being first coming last year, here just speaking as a member, that now as a president of Utah International Platform, how it is again, what new is giving and empowering you?
Thank you for your question, Professor Beck. These years have been really beneficial for me and rewarding, and it has helped me grow with my leadership skills, my communication skills, and being able to understand policy and diplomat work that's very important in our advocacy for sustainable mountain development. It has also taught me a lot of patience and sometimes things happen and you kind of just have to grow with life, and I'm just very, very grateful for the opportunity I have had to visit United Nations these past 2 years and to help continue to put mountain issues on national and international platforms and being able to represent the Polynesian communities that I come from. So thank you so much. With no further questions, in conclusion, we express our gratitude to Ambassador Ida Kosmoliva and our professional staff, including our dear friend Nazik Moldodashiva, Second Secretary of the Permanent Mission of the Kyrgyz Republic to United Nations, for giving us this opportunity to exercise this practical approach and advocacy work through education and research. We would like to acknowledge our mentors for their continuous guidance, for without their support and mentorship of the UU faculty, our student-driven efforts would not be possible. We thank you all again for your participation in our showcase to display how the student-engaged learning educational initiative can empower students to be better members of society, encourage lifetime learning, and help increase awareness of issues in mountain communities. Thank you.